And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast.
It's the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, I pretty much get everything out I want to say during the show, during the week.
Yeah, we pretty much do nowadays.
Yeah, we kind of do.
I mean, back in, what was this, when we first started the podcast, 2014 or something like that, we had a lot of unsaid stuff. We were talking, like, when it first started, like, if you go back to episode 1, we were doing a lot of, it was basically, we would finish the shift on Friday and then just start talking business. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's where our brains were.
Yeah, because we had just started a little company and everything, and it was like, it was business talk. What are you doing, Carson? What you got?
Our buddy Barbie sent me a box of Kenny Chesney t-shirts.
What?
So I'm just going through them. Oh, that's a Patriots one. That's a cool event shirt. Nice. Yep.
Oh,
Boston
those like
2018.
Are they rare when they have like a one event kind of thing?
I mean, when you think he's filling a stadium, there's 60,000 people, and he just his tour that he's doing next year. They just added a third night at Gillette. So it's not to say that it's not rare, but like when
2018, if somebody's getting ready for one of those shows at Gillette, they're going to be
cool.
like, oh, I want to look like I was there the first time.
Right. That's the thing. People are like, oh, is it rare? I'm like, yeah, it's except like when you're talking the biggest tours among the biggest tours ever, and Kenny Chesney's right up there, like. So, and that's no shade to Barbie. It's cool that she sent him to me, but like people are like, oh, this must be worth something. And I'm like, it was the Garth Brooks t-shirts that like, oh, it was like the biggest tour of 1994 and 96 and 97. Like everybody bought shirts because everybody went to it.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some sort of a diagram where one is like, it's a lesser known artist t-shirt is going to be more worth something, but they're also less because they're not known.
Exactly. So if you go, oh my gosh, no, D would never have kept it. Bubba might have thrown it away. But you guys have known Taylor Swift since she started, right? Like she used to have you in the top 8 on MySpace. People go crazy trying to find that original first Taylor stuff. So much that if you list like t-shirts, like original Taylor Swift shirts, eBay takes them down because she's so concerned about counterfeits.
Oh, they don't even think it's real.
Yeah, because not a lot of people have them. And again, when she turns into literally a global superstar, people want that. I've been here since the beginning, except.
How much do you think, if we had kept the Ziploc bag with the cookies description that Taylor Swift baked for us?
Oh, my gosh.
How much do you think that handwritten, chocolate chip or whatever she
Taylor
wrote
Swift
on there? Taylor Swift
Roadshow.
I think if you posted it on eBay for $100, somebody would take it within 24 hours and tell you undersold it. Yeah. Her
do you
fans
think there's a Swiftie crazy enough who would pay $1,000 for a Ziploc bag?
Yeah, I do. Oh,
what?
Yeah, I had a Casey Musgraves thing that went into a bidding war, and when I tell you, it was a candy bar. It was a Casey Musgraves candy bar from a show I went to.
Oh, it's like they just did them for the show?
And they did it for the show, and it got bid up to like $200 some odd.
For a candy bar?
For a Casey Musgraves candy bar. Imagine if you had Taylor Swift handwritten from before they knew the Taylor. That's the thing. Swifties, people having their idea like, oh, Swifties are just these like little girls or young girls. No, Swifties are middle-aged too.
I was going to say, Swifties are
and
their
have
moms.
money. Yeah, Taylor's been doing this almost 20 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, those girls grew up.
Yeah.
Once it started with her.
And they got cash.
They got that girl power. They don't got a man. They're out there just.
Or they do have a man, so they got a dual income. Good for you.
No, but I was saying like the ones who are like captains of industry now. These CEOs and all that kind of stuff. You got these 7-figure earning Swifties.
Yeah. So that's. I'm just saying, check your archives, folks. So.
I'll never forget telling Patrick that time, man. Dude.
Taylor Swift had been by the studio several times, 5, 6 different times.
I think after like the 4th or 5th one, I told him, I'm like,
dude,
she's not gonna stop trying to make this happen. It's not going to happen.
She's like, fetch. It's not going to make it happen.
It's not going
You know, and I would love to be able to say that, because I was like, man, I give her time. It'll catch. I would love to be able to say that I was that guy, but I'm sure I was. But I do that for everybody.
For everybody.
So,
Well, I always thought the song Tim McGraw was really clever.
Yes.
And what's the one? I was sitting on the thing.
Our song,
It's Our
Slam
Song.
and Screen
Yeah,
Door.
really, really well done. And I was thinking, man, she's a really good writer. She should just write. She'd just become a really successful.
Well, why D is not in that facet of the business.
she is a successful writer. Has she sold her catalog yet?
No,
Because,
I don't think
like
so.
a lot of people have already done that. Like people who
will
are still
probably.
very active.
She could, but
What do you think her catalog would be worth?
Man, I mean, it's
I don't know.
it's got to be higher than anyone's. It's got to be the highest in the history. Because I know Michael Jackson's was high, the Beatles was
Beatles were high.
high.
Oh, it's been sold several times.
Oh, this is
yeah.
this the deal with the guy that she doesn't like or whatever?
Scooter?
Yeah, I think
Braun?
so. So there was one deal that was reportedly more than $300 million. This is back in 2020.
Wow.
Going back to the master recordings from 2006, and then that's why you have all the like I sent Carson a picture of a car in a parking lot yesterday, and literally they had one bumper sticker on the car, and the bumper sticker just said Taylor's version. It said nothing else.
Yep. So cute.
And I was like, that is a hardcore Swiftie.
That is.
Because they're just sending a message out to the other Swifties that, I only buy Taylor's version.
That's. It's just super cute too. It also identifies you as a Swiftie.
Taylor's catalog could have doubled in value since the last sale. They're saying it's anywhere from $400 to $450 million in value right now.
Well, yeah, because think about the companies that would clamor to have her song selling their products. That there's value in that.
Did you know that Taylor is already a billionaire?
Yes.
I didn't know all that.
Oh, yeah, that came out a couple weeks ago. That was a huge thing.
You weren't on that, Bubba?
No.
You didn't get alerted to that? Your phone didn't go nuts like an Amber
Bubba,
Alert?
I'm not going to show y'all what shows up my Instagram, but I will tell you I was in my little cave of a studio not 7 minutes ago watching someone who had mashed up Travis Kelce clips to shake it off. And this is what I'm serviced.
Boy, you talk about degenerate. That's pretty low. That's where you're at.
I'm proud. And there's a lot of us, though. That's the point. Someone made it. All I had to do was watch it.
Thank you.
Thank you for whoever made that.
Thank you.
There's a lot of Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, that was that whole.
That is a great stash.
That's really nice of her.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, it's funny you were talking about Taylor and thinking, like, what are we doing having this girl in all the time? Another radio station I worked in, the guy I did mornings with was older than me, and he'd been there a while. And he always told the story about his general manager that they would bring new artists in. And some guy's walking around like, hey, sir, how you doing today? Oh, yeah, hey, great to meet you. Oh, thanks for the autograph picture. The guy leaves, and the dude immediately throws it in his wastebasket. He goes, yeah, it's never going to be anything. It's Kenny Chesney.
Really?
Yeah, way to call it, buddy.
Wow.
You're so smart, ain't you, sir?
So think about, remember Reggie? We used to work with a guy who collected baseballs. Was it baseballs or golf balls? It was baseballs.
Baseballs.
He would have, anytime an artist came through, he was the general manager of a radio station. Anytime somebody came through, he would have them sign a baseball. I'm sure he has a Taylor Swift baseball in the collection. Now, I know he's passed away, but I'm sure, could you imagine a
That
Taylor
collection.
Swift?
Right?
Well, the whole collection is insane. Yeah.
What a cool idea,
And there were
though.
photos with every one of them because
So, yeah, you could verify it.
he would take a picture with them holding the ball they had just signed. Yeah.
Good dude, too.
That's so cool. What a great idea.
It was a neat way to do autographs to where you could display them and have them up on. So you would walk into his office and there would be a whole wall of baseballs, and they were signed by everyone from Garth Brooks and Taylor Swift
super
to
clever.
whomever. Yeah.
I love that idea.
We should do that and just have like some weird thing that they sign. Everybody signs a water balloon or something.
Water balloon?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out a random
Do you
thing.
know I actually have balloons signed by the Black Keys? Because my record rep when I was in rock radio was like, yeah, I've got this great prize for your listeners. We're going to send you balloons signed by the Black. How am I supposed to give away balloons? Are you joking? Yeah, this is absolutely Black Keys. I didn't take a Sharpie and write their names.
Do you remember? I was at the store one day and I saw like a Hot Wheel or a Matchbox car, and it was a Bentley, and I bought it. And I'm like, this would be great. And Dirks did not want to sign it because he doesn't like to be. He was like, oh man, really? I mean, that's a Bentley. I'm like, I know, and you're a Bentley. And he's like, I just because he's so humble. That he didn't want to associate himself with the car Bentley. He's like, I mean, that's cool. But I'm like, dude, one day we could give away a Dirks Bentley, and that's just funny. And I have it somewhere in a box. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
We never gave it away.
No, he wants everyone to think that he still drives this old beat up truck. And
which he does.
His shoes have holes in them. And
which he does.
And I've talked to him about it. I'm like, everyone knows you're rich, right? Because they do.
Surprise!
I hate to tell you this, man, but when you go to the concert, start counting heads and put a number to it. And just put $10 on each head. Just 10. Just do that in your head real quick.
That doesn't even pay for parking.
10, 20, 30, 40. Everyone in there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. All of a sudden you realize, oh, I've got some money.
Imagine if he made $1 off of every seat at one of his concerts. Well, you sell out $15,000. You're getting $15,000
$15 grand.
And I know that's low for... I mean, him
that
or
is.
any other, but bro, we know you got some cash. It's okay. We love you.
That's what. Listen, I get it. We went through a whole thing where I was a little hesitant to even say that we owned airplanes and flew them because it was so unrelatable to our audience.
My airplane costs less than a truck.
Yeah.
So that I can say that.
But people don't
remind me to fly with you ever.
that was instilled. Listen, my plane's super cheap.
Who wants to go flying?
But also people are, they think it's also kind of cool. Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys are pilots and you have an airplane, that you can go fly, whatever. So we kind of got away from that. But I do understand where he's coming from.
Well, you don't want to seem like you're too cool for the room kind of thing. And, Dirks is, he's a bluegrass fan. He's salt of the earth, that kind of thing. So, and it's not just him. There's other artists who are the same way. But, man, do you remember when his Camaro, or was it an old Camaro that caught on fire?
Dirks?
Yeah.
He
had this old 69 Camaro or something like that, and it ended up catching on fire.
Oh.
Was he in it?
No,
okay.
He had driven it somewhere and gotten out or something, and then went to eat
came out
at
to
a
a
restaurant,
car fire.
and his
It's on
car
fire.
was torched.
Listen, as an owner of an old car, I can tell you that doesn't surprise me at all. At all. Buy a muscle car, they said. I thought I was going to use that as my daily driver, too.
How many transmissions later?
It was a 67 Camaro. It caught fire outside of a Nashville bar back in 2011, I think.
Oh, wow. Did you see the chick whose car caught on fire and the only thing that survived was her Stanley tumbler? And when she shook it, it was still ice in there.
What?
No.
And so, smartest marketing ever. Stanley turns around and gives her a new car. Because her TikTok got something like 8 million views, and then Stanley, I think it actually got 100 million, and Stanley turned around and made a TikTok and said like, hey, we're so sorry this happened to you, but we're getting you a new car. And theirs already had like 8 million views on it or something. Very smart. Also very nice.
Wow. I'm looking at the whole story about the Dirks Bentley car. His wife had given him the car. It was the very first year of the Camaro. She gave it to him. She's like, this is great. He took it to this place. He didn't want to valet park it, but he did. He went inside, ran into Charles Kelly, and Charles said, hey, I want to see your new car. He said as soon as they walked back outside, there were flames coming out from the engine and coming out the sides. The valet guy was still inside trying to pop the hood. And he said, I was like trying to process the whole thing. Charles Kelly from Lady A saw a guy from the bar who had a fire extinguisher, said, bring that over here. And then apparently something had happened with the power steering fluid being too close to the exhaust. And that's how the fire had started. So, yeah, wow, there's more to the story than even we thought.
It's terrifying.
I sent him a picture of I found a 67 Camaro that's been redone. It's all blacked out, murdered out. It looks like John Wick would get out of this car. It's so everything's blacked out. And I just sent it to him and said, you need this. Get rid of that dumb truck.
He won't get rid of the truck.
No.
I mean, Brothers Osborne, I forget which one of it still has the old truck that used to be their dad's or something, or they had gotten it in high school, and that's what they drive all the time. I still remember Carrie Underwood. man, she had already had, several hits at the time. And I was in traffic and I look over, there's Carrie Underwood in the Ford Fusion she had won on American Idol.
Oh, that is so
That's
funny.
adorable.
And so I was talking to somebody and they mentioned that she still has that car. I mean, that was the moment her life changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she still keeps it running and all that kind of stuff.
I remember talking to Scotty McCreery about the truck he won on Idol. And he said that's what got him back in after he won to being able to do all this stuff in Nashville. And he had by the airport a hotel that would hold his truck for him. Like he kind of went in and said like, "Hey, I keep coming here and this is my truck." They're like, "Oh, we'll watch it for you. Don't worry." He's like that because he's like, I couldn't really afford to put it in a lot full time.
Right.
So these people at a hotel were generous enough to keep an eye on his truck.
That's smart. That's really
Right?
smart to even think of that, to go ask.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just parking it there.
And also,
leaving it.
like, I mean, he's like the politest guy. So I bet it was just super sweet. Like, how could you say no to him?
Oh my God.
Well, the last time, do you
Big
see
D
it?
just sent me this.
Look how sick that is. My bud's got a 67 Camaro. It's red, and it's great. But that black one is,
yeah.
yeah. That's
It's got the
straight
old
up John Wick.
It's got the old Steelies, like the steel wheels with the little caps in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah.
What are steel wheels?
It's just like back in the day, all the wheels were made out of steel, and it's just very heavy and all that, but they're super strong. But everybody would put hubcaps on them. And then now we don't use hubcaps anymore, so we use all these aluminum rims and different things. And, it's just the old steel wheels to me are cool.
Literally, it's the name of a Rolling Stones album from like 1989.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's
it
why
was
you wanted to know?
today years old when I just thought they liked it because it rhymed.
Oh, no, it's a thing. It's a thing that guy. Yeah, it's a guy world.
I had looked at after the divorce. I went through that little stage of what do I get? I got to go get some, some car, some cool thing, which I didn't do, by the way. But I was looking at one of the new little Land Rovers, and they had steel wheels on them as an option, and I was like, man, that's really cool. But I didn't end up getting it. But if I would have gone with the old school looking, like 1960s, 1970s look. It would have been tougher.
Carson, dude, if that you didn't know that steel wheels, do you know rally wheels? Have you heard that?
I know Rally's makes the best fries in fast food.
Oh, Rally's was great.
Well, they'll call them rally wheels.
Do they still have that?
Yeah, there's one by my parents' house, which, by the way, I'll be stopping there before I get to their house.
Wheel
for
into
Thanksgiving.
Rallies?
No, I don't know what. No, rally wheels. Do they like have flags on them?
That's the same. It's another name for the steel wheels. that he's calling
okay.
them. They'll call them sometimes rally wheels. But yeah, it's the same thing. I didn't know. Maybe they're like, well, that's the name of their second album.
No.
maybe it's like I was reading this article. It's like where words, the origin of words or phrases. Oh, that's so fascinating to me, man. All the stuff like how do you do got put down to howdy.
Oh.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Oh wow.
But
How do you do? Howdy.
Also,
Yeah.
it
How
used
do
to.
you do? How do you?
How do you do? How do you sound to howdy?
How do you do?
It's also the word apron, apron. It used to be called
Apron?
anpron,
Anpron?
and it got over the years just like, hey, put this apron on, and it got turned into an apron instead of anpron.
Put on an apron?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that is a UFO.
I don't know.
I hear these in my head throughout the day. I wish I hear that in here. Gary from Howard Stern.
Gary.
Gary.
This is stupid.
Oh, yes. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I say that
Do
at
you
least
really?
4 times a week.
This is
And
ridiculous.
honestly, nobody outside of this room would even probably get it.
Yeah, some of these things I think, I'm like, it's super famous. And everyone's like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That
Was
wasn't
it-
famous?
I think it was, but it was, like a few
It
years.
was a softball game, church softball game
Right.
brawl, and they were like really going at it. And this lady is on the PA system, and she's trying to get them to stop fighting. And
This is stupid. This is absolutely ridiculous.
You have to remember too, though, that like part of our job is finding stuff like this. Like like knowing what's happening, being so up in pop culture and viral videos that like I'll watch Jeopardy. Oh, the other night on Jeopardy, they didn't know Garth Brooks, and I'm like throwing things at the TV. And it's because it's not their world, that their day is filled with something different.
Yeah.
And
things that they think are equally as big.
Well,
Right,
it's just
right.
like Big D. Big D's always throwing out all these memes and things that he gets from his TikTok or his Insta or whatever.
They did the other day. It was
And
like
I get totally different
different
things.
ones. That's crazy.
And
And
like,
I'm getting Taylor and Travis. So
it's
I
so
am too. I mean, I'm
crazy.
not.
no,
You're not what? You're not getting Taylor and Travis?
I'm gonna start sending them. I'm gonna screw up your algorithm.
You know, I think that'd be fun. I would totally do it. I would watch them just because I need to buy into it because I still think the whole
I
thing's
really
fake.
was like, let's do an experiment. What's the first reel that like pops up on my Insta in my search?
All right, let's see.
Man, when you do the whole, what was it, Discover or whatever?
Straight up Taylor and Travis.
Wow.
I don't know what it's about, but here we are.
If you go to like Instagram, like you're on Instagram and you do, look at Trace. That's so cool, man. You know what's really cool? Sorry, I'm sideburning here, but when you have kids your kids play ball and they play with other people, and then you see these kids, that teammates go on and out playing, colleges, and they get the official, uniform picture at their facility, holding the baseball, like the whole thing. That's just cool, man. You think of how much work that went into getting those kids to that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. What I was going to look up, it was if you go to, is it? What am I doing? I don't know
what you're doing.
Why do I even care? Why do we know what I'm doing? Mine's all cars. I look at it. We did it. We did a bit one time. It's like pull up your thing, and it's like everything. What are you? Mine's all cars and smoking.
I just did explore on my Instagram, and a picture of Carson and our friend Monta and Lainey Wilson popped up.
Okay.
How do you hit explore on there? You just go to the Reels button?
The little thing that says explore.
Okay, you know what's even weirder is a friend of
I don't
ours
think it says it.
just messaged me on Instagram with a picture of somebody has a tattoo. Can I pet that dog?
Oh,
Which the first time I heard that was because Dee gave it to us.
that dog.
Can I pet that dog?
That kid's the best. I was like the kid who runs. Have you seen the kid who runs in? And he's like really fast. He's in pajamas, and he goes.
Take that dog.
There it is. And he runs in, and his mom's filming, and he goes, "You want me to run go get some Taco Bell?"
What?
Have you not seen that? You can type in taco. You want me to get Taco Bell, kid? And see if it pops up.
Linda.
Yes.
Linda.
No, Linda. Listen to me, Linda. That kid's the best too. I love all of them, man.
Taco Bell. No, I typed that in, and my algorithm is very different. I can't even show you the screen.
Oh.
Oh.
It's bad. I don't
All
know
right,
what's
Bubba.
going on there.
Hey now.
I'm like, that's not
This
the
was
same.
the podcast.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Again, I don't care. Why am I doing this? Because I'm in it and I'm already there. So now I have to. Okay, do we have it to where it's okay? YouTube. Okay, here we go. I got it. Bubba, can I send this to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is very important.
Oh my God, you're gonna hear this and go, "Wow, okay, I'm out."
Take that dog.
All right, there you go. This kid, he asked for tacos.
What?
You want to talk about?
Are you gonna go get it?
You want
You want Taco Bell? You want Taco Bell?
That's a good kid, though. He just walked in. He's like, hey, let's plant the seeds. Smart.
Little redheaded kid in his pajamas.
He looks kind of
adorable.
like Howdy Doody.
So adorable.
He's like, yo, Taco Bell time.
So cute. Who do we have after the show?
We have Scott Hamilton, which is
He was fun.
He is such a personable dude. Like, I have been on countless Southwest Airlines flights with him. Like, for some reason, 1 out of every 8 flights that I've ever taken in my life, Scott Hamilton is on the flight. And, like, it never fails. People are like, Scott Hamilton's on the flight.
You want some Taco Bell?
You want some Taco Bell? You want some Taco
You want to see a flip? I'll do a flip for you. I'll do it. He's little.
Corn in the brownie.
What does that say?
Corn in the brownie.
Corn in the...
Corn in the brownie. That was an old meme you sent me way back in the day.
I don't think that was supposed to be spread.
Oh.
Thank you.
Corn in the brownie. Thank you. great.
All right, are we done?
Yes.
All
Have
right,
a great
thank you.
weekend.
Have a great one. And for all of you going to visit with your families and all that for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
the podcast is great for road trips. Start at episode 1. You'll see the evolution or de-evolution, depending on how you want to look at it, from that episode all the way to 454, where we are currently.
Wow.
Yes, 454 of these.
Thank you.
That's a lot.
Thank you.
That is a whole lot. Scott Hamilton right after this, for those of you who are listening on the apps.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay,
That's
'cause
okay.
you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day.